Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Step into the world where your vision's unfurled. Ecamm Live's on the scene, let your story be heard. Drag, drop, connect, a tech symphony. Broadcasting live in high quality. Multicam magic, switch it on the go. From your Mac to the world, let your visual show. Overlay, graphic scene, switching slick. With Ecamm Live, no editing, and that's the trick. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Dial in your sound, make it crisp and clear. Mic check 1, 2, let the audience hear. Interviewing guests from near and far. From local to global, you're a streaming star. Green screen effects, transport your space. Custom backgrounds, tie your digital place. Stream to YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live. Ecamm's versatility, man, it helps you thrive. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Analytics in view, see your message spread. Comments on the screen, every word can be read. Record, repurpose with ridiculous ease. Click from social media, spread your message like a breeze. No heavy edits, save your precious time. Ecamm Live, the rhythm to creators rhyme. From hobbyists to pros, it's a tool to choose. Ecamm Live, the platform where you never lose. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a chain reaction. Lights, camera, live in action. Ecamm's the key to your satisfaction. Lower thirds, overlays, getting traction. You post, they engage, it's a
Hello. Yes, I know you were jamming with that too, right? You can't help it. That lights, camera, live in action. So, welcome everyone to the ultimate masterclass with Ecamm and Zoom. I am extremely excited to be presenting this to you today. Number one, why? Because I'm a big believer that you need to level up your Zoom presentations. I am sure you've heard the phrase Zoom fatigue, and some of you probably have that yourselves from your own meetings. So I want to show you some different ways of being able to do that. So a couple of housekeeping things here really quick. If you are going to place a question into the chat, do me a favor and place it in this format here. Put a Q with a colon and then your question. What that does is it gives the system the ability to parse questions and comments, right? Would not you love that when you're in your Zoom meetings? And when you're in your Zoom meeting, you look into the chat, and a lot of times, what do you see, right? You see a lot of comments, but you can't tell really which one is the question and which one is the comment or someone just saying something, okay? So that's one of the abilities of it. So just remember Q, colon, question. If you want to just put a chat or anything like that or a comment, then just go ahead and put it in regular, just like you would normally do, okay? And today, we're going to be covering... Boom. We're going to be covering a little bit of the green screen effect, like you see right back there. Then we're going to talk a little bit about how you can choose the Canva presentation, and then how also you can target your audience using Zoom. Okay, we'll touch on those just a little bit, but I wanted to specifically show you those kind of things. And when I reference green screen and Zoom, I'm more talking about the virtual background or virtual effect things that Zoom gives. So before we begin, I would love to know who is all here. So if you're able, put where you are from inside of the chat. This, what you're watching right now, is going to become absolutely prevalent during this masterclass, and you're going to want it and love it. I'm going to be giving away the opportunity to sign up for this for absolutely free, no cost. And once again, as I stated earlier, um, this is not a webinar. I'm not pitching you any items. I'm not going to ask you to buy anything. I'm just going to show you the ability for you to use something just like this. So if you have the ability, throw where you are from inside the chat. Would love to hear that. Plus, we're going to be using this a little bit later on in the masterclass as well. So, any questions? Let us know. All right, I see we got a couple of. All right, there we go. We've got. Let me take a look and see. I see that we've got Shanghai. How are you doing, Colin? So glad for you to be joining us here. And I see Charleston. I see a couple other places. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get ready to jump into this here. The first thing I'm going to be showing you is how to get some of the features you see that I do into your Zoom. And again, 9 times out of 10, whenever I show someone something, it is either at no cost through Zoom. I'm not an affiliate, I don't get any cost from them, but I love showing people things that they can do that are no cost. So look over here, Colin. We got you in Shanghai, China. So I love it. But if you can notice, ladies and gentlemen, one of the main things I love about this is what do we always do in a Zoom presentation or a meeting? We ask people where they're from. Okay. And so I see I've got 4 people here in the States. Let's zoom in and see. What do we have? We got South Carolina. We got another Charleston. Okay. Love it. And then I thought I had a couple more. So, but what I love showing about this here is the fact that you are able to now maybe create a little bit more bond with someone. Right now, you can see maybe what province they're in, and you can say to someone, "Oh, wow, look, I used to live or be by that area." Right. So this is one feature that you can do in Zoom that a lot of people do not know about, and I will be showing you how you can do this absolutely free. Okay, and it's going to show a little bit more stuff as well. So let's get ready to get into this Zoom training. Let me ensure my Zoom is up, and there we go. All right. So how do you get that? Someone wants to know. Join. So the first thing I'm going to talk about when you get into your Zoom is this here. So I've got my camera off because we don't want to do that tunnel of death, right? So let's talk about to the right where you see the thing that says V pose, right? This is a great tool that you can use to grab the emails, grab the poll items, make it creative, make it fun for you and your audience, right? Because again, the number one thing in our research that we found is that people, when they come to these meetings, they tune out after a while. They get bored. And if you can create a fun, engaged presentation with a poll, then that will keep them engaged. Now, I don't use this poll particularly, but I wanted to show people options because someone may not like my poll. So I want to show you a few different ones that are either free or low cost. All right. So what I'm going to do is close out of that one there. And the next one I'm going to show you is called Pitch Hub. All of these can be found in your apps. If you look at the bottom next to the record section, you will see apps. If we pull up apps, you can then search for all of these here that I'm stating. And you can see to the side, I have a few that I've tried. But the next one we're going to try is called Pitch Hub Teleprompter. All right. So what that does is that gives us the ability. So if we want to do a presentation, a lot of times what will happen, and I'm going to come back to my main screen for a second, is we will see a presenter or someone, a coach or someone, they'll be talking, but they'll be looking off to the side of the screen because they're looking at their notes. Well, Pitch Hub Teleprompter alleviates all of that. Now, that one is not free, but I want to show you an example of what it looks like using a person whom I had on there, and let me find it for you. I had it right here. There we go. Pitch material. Okay, and then yes, here it is. All right, so this is an example of what it looks like. But I think Pitch Hub is like $4 a month, so it's not a lot. Again, like I told you, they're either free or low cost. And so what that does is, whenever you put in your script, whatever you put in, anything that you want to do, now this comes up in front of your camera, in front of your screen, and your guest will be down at the bottom where you see the lady at right there. So now you can read your prompts, you can read your text, anything that you like. And again, if you have any questions, any comments, stop me as I go along. Sometimes I get to going because I get excited. So Pitch Hub teleprompter. Again, none of these that I'm showing you, I am an affiliate of. I don't have anything to do with it except one stream, the one I'm going to show you later and give you for free. But that's free. Okay. So let's see. Double checking my notes to make sure I get everything right. All right. Now you're going to absolutely love this one. This one I suggest highly. This is called SPX Graphics for Zoom. A lot of people, and I'm going to actually do a demonstration of it. So I will pull this up so you guys can see as I do this. All right. So now SPX Graphics for Zoom, you can load a lower third. You can load something in there. And so for an example, I will show you. So now as you see my name comes up, Lion Flood, Virtual Image Consultant, VCA Academy, that is inside of Zoom. So now you can take that on and off inside here. And also SPX Graphic is free. I keep harping on that because I want you to level your Zoom presentation up. So grab something that is free. They do have a paid portion, but the one I'm showing you currently is free. So type in the chat for an example. I'll show you how easy this is. Type in the chat for me a name of someone here, and I will put this up on there. Actually, let me see. I'll do Colin since he typed in COLI. Colin, can you tell me a title that you have that you present when you're in your virtual presentation? Or when you're in your whatever field that you're doing. What is your job title? Thompson, I see that. And then maybe a company that you represent as well. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to place that inside of here. Okay. And while I'm doing that, yes. Okay. So while I'm waiting on that, I'll also show you a few things also that you're able to do. You're also able to place a logo of yours inside of the Zoom with your time and so forth like that. Okay, so let's see. I am going to put that in here now. I'm going to put that for the company. So let's change this OLIGY Enterprises. Okay, so now let's say for an example, Colin, you're in a meeting, and let me turn this logo off. Okay. All right. So now let's say you're in a meeting, and instead of the regular Zoom name that you see on the screen all of the time, you can now put something in there like this. Imagine how much more eye catching, appealing, eye popping, keeping the guests attentive by seeing your name come up like that. Again, you can change all of the colors, put it to your color brand. You can change anything. I left the virtual in there because I didn't know any other. Oh, lead coach. My bad. I saw it now. So let's put in lead coach. Okay. And by doing that, now I just typed in lead coach. And when I bring it back up, look how simple and fast that is. Okay. You can see me over to the side typing that in, right? That's how fast that is. Also, another great aspect of this is instead of doing the turning your camera off, you can put a be right back type of a thing, right? I just put in there, be right back, grabbing a drink. But again, you can put whatever it is you want in there instead of just simply turning your camera off, right? You don't have to use this. It also gives you the ability to choose from a virtual background, okay? But I don't use those. So and it is highly better than the Zoom backgrounds that most people use. Okay, so don't allow. All right, so that is the next one I wanted to show you. Make sure you grab it and play around with it. It's SPX graphics for Zoom. So if you go to the monitor or the app section, you can grab it for free, play around with it, and then now you will have your name up on there. You will have the ability to choose different virtual backgrounds, which are stronger than Zoom's one, but it just makes you look more professional, right? Now, someone says, "Hey, what's your title?" You're able to just pop it up right on screen. Okay. Okay. So now let me ask you all a question really quick before we dive into this more. Okay. Can you all share with me what platforms do you stream to the most? Put a one, two, three, or four in the chat if you use YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. I know there's others, but I put this more because that's at least more in a professional setting of what people are using. Okay. So, question we have. All right. So let me take this question here really quick before we move on to that there. So let's see. We have a question coming in from Colin who says, "Can SPX and Ecamm be used at the same time?" Yes, you can use both at the same time. And for ladies and gentlemen, what I've been doing is I have been kind of just showing you a little bit of the Zoom features first, and then I'll show you the Ecamm, and then I'll combine them just a little bit as well because I didn't want to confuse some people who might have been on here and then they've been looking at this and saying they get too confused. Okay, so I just try to parse them out just a little bit. But yes, the answer to that question is yes, you can use Ecamm and Zoom at this. Oh, excuse me, SPX and Ecamm at the same time. Yes. So thank you for that question. So if you all can put in the chat one, two, three, or four for whichever platform that you use the most, and I'm going to show you another feature of this, which is absolutely great as well. So here, this, as I was showing you all earlier, the Zoom has the features of just the polls, the Zoom apps. That's what I was showing you when I first went in. But this is a polling system that I love to use because number one, it is faster. It is more engaging as the poll is live. So as more people start to drop the numbers into the chat, the poll reflects that, right? And so now it moves. So it shows, um, let's see, 100% for Facebook right now. And then I'll put another number in to show you all. And then, boom, number one comes in. So now YouTube goes to 33%. And there's a very special reason why this is doing it this way. And I will share that with you shortly to show you why I love this polling system much better than the ones um, for the ones I showed you on Zoom. This is another Zoom app that I am using or that is attached to Zoom. Okay, so you're able to do that. So place in the chat one, two, three, or four for whichever platform that you may use the most to stream. All right, so let's see. I'm putting in another number just to show you. Okay, so now we're starting to see. And hopefully you all can see and understand how this here could be used to your advantage. Because if you have a lot of people who are coming into your meeting, you can now, number one, customize any of these questions, right? To find out who, what was the last book read, or maybe if you're an analytics, right? What percentage of a data is something you use, and it's live, and it shows you right away. Again, all of these, what you're seeing, can be used with Zoom and Ecamm. I am currently using Ecamm. So if I am doing it on screen, the answer will more than likely be yes, it can be used with Ecamm as well. All right. And it's not a long process. Everything is simple. I believe in the workflow being simple and easy. If it's simple and easy, I want to do it more. If it's hard and complicated, I push it to the side. But my number one point in showing is increasing your engagement possibility, right? So increasing some of those. All right. So now let me show you one more thing, and then I'll come back and show you what this is, and then I will actually give a free service for this. So it's not a free trial or anything like that. So let's go back for 1 second. And what we're going to do at that point is we are going to go one more time into Zoom. Okay, I'm going to show you a feature that I think is so important for everyone to be using. It is the timer function in Zoom. Again, another free app. If you click on that timer, what it will give you is the option to choose a time so you can make sure that you are staying attentive to your speech. And so, for an example, at 5 minutes, now this comes up. Again, my camera's off on Zoom because I don't want that tunnel of all of the cameras that comes on. You guys have probably seen it. Matter of fact, I'll even show you a kind of thing. See that right there? That's what I don't want to come on. So we keep it there. So again, now you can put your timer on screen so you can still see how much time you have before your talk is up. If you're doing a summit or presentation, you want to make sure you stick to your time. Okay. Or if someone else is in your meeting and you want to give them a few minutes to talk, now they can tell how much longer they have to be able to talk. And that is simply the Zoom timer. And it also has the ability to do a stopwatch function. Um, so yes, I'll just show you. So now it has the ability to do a stopwatch to count up. For whatever reason, you may choose to use that or so forth. Okay. So simple. It is the timer function, right? Now, the app that I was using a second ago, as you can see, these are all Zoom apps. It's called Stream Alive. Okay. I am going to place in the chat a link for you to grab this if you would like. Again, it is free. Think, and don't quote me on this, but I think it goes free up to like 100 people maybe before you would end up wanting to pay over if you wanted to do more or something like that. Okay. So let me stop this timer. And okay, so now let me come back here and show you what Stream Alive is. So again, as another Zoom app, but here's another great opportunity for you to see this, right? So say for an example, you wanted to ask anyone, hey, what would you use this integration for? What would you use these apps for mostly? Would you use it in a live if you're streaming? Would you use it in a webinar, summit, or an interview, right? Put 1, 2, 3, or 4 again in the chat as you're looking at this, okay? And I'm gonna show you an example of what that means, right? So once again, all of these you're able to change any of the questions on, right? You can change any of the answers. It is all up to you and what your meeting will will be looking for, right? Um, so whatever department you're in, maybe you're in a department that's looking into technology and you're making something, right? So now you can do that. So webinars, okay, great, right? Now, and I'm glad you put that in there because here's what I feel. Webinars have gotten to the point so much where people just let me share my screen and then automatically their brains turn off because they've heard it so much, they've seen the slides so much. Imagine being able to do a presentation or a webinar like this, right? And again, I'm using Streamlive, which is a app of Zoom in combination with Ecamm. Ecamm is allowing me to come into the screen like this, right? But you can still do it in your regular Zoom presentation in the format that doesn't have you on the screen directly like this. But people will still be engaged because they see those questions. They see that. So this is Stream Alive. You can grab. I keep wanting to say free trial, but it's not a free trial. You can grab a free thing of it. They have it free up to like a certain amount of people who are in your Zoom meeting. So if you're someone who does a webinar, for an example, that's like 400 or 500 people, then I think you have to pay for it, or something like that. But if you're going to be under, don't quote me, but I think if you're going to be under 100 people, then it's no cost. Okay. So I'll show you another one. Matter of fact, right before I get out of this, I'll show you a couple of other great things about this. So, just for an example, this is a word cloud. If you can type in, and you don't have to type in what scares you about streaming, but just type in a word. So I'll put I'm gonna put talking for an example in. And what this does, again, this creates that engagement, because now people get to see what they wrote up on the screen, and it also gives the host the ability to now create a stronger bond with someone in a sales pitch or something, right? If you wrote this and say, hey, what's an issue that we're having in inventory, or why can't we, what's going on in shipping, right? And if someone puts in a word, now you know, right? You can also use this in coaching, and now you know who wrote it, and then you can say, oh wow, hey Frank, I used to feel the same way when I first started streaming, or when I first started, in my sales process. And here's what helped me to get past that, right? So this is a word cloud. And let's see, I'm just going to put people. People scared you, right? So I'm going to put a few more in there so you guys can kind of see how this starts to build. Did I spell people wrong? I spelled people PE. No, did I spell people wrong? It looks like it's wrong. I don't know, but so I think I did. I think I spelled it wrong. Um, but here now you can start to see how. Let's do this. How it starts to formulate that word cloud. And what happens is when people see their names and see their word or whatever they're doing up on screen, then they want to be more engaged. They want to start to ask questions, right? So that's an example of the word cloud. And all of this that you're seeing right now is being done inside of Stream Live, okay, which is the Zoom app or Zoom feature that you can use also, right? So you can curtail it to whatever you want, right? So let's try another one here real quick to show you another way that this is done. So now people can also put emojis. Some people like that, and it may not be in a professional setting, but some people like that there. So let's jump into a question. I see we have another question that's coming up. And let's see here. Let me put that on the screen here. So Colin is asking, let's see. So they type in, then you retype it for it to appear. No, Colin, not the case. So let me show you. What happens is, let's go back here and I'm gonna reset it. So can you type in a word? I'm gonna keep my hands up here, so that you can see that I don't type in anything. When they type the word in, it automatically comes into that box. Let me change it. So, okay, there we go. So you can see it a little bit better, right? So if you type in something for me, it's automatically going to come into the box. There we go, right? Yes. And then you can type in a few more things if you like as well. I don't have to type in anything. That's the beauty of why I love this feature, is because, again, I believe in workflow. I don't want to have to keep looking for the let me share my screen button, the mute button. I don't want to have to look for, and if you like this, wait till you see the last thing that I show you using this feature. Again, but everything is typed in. Also, what this is doing, and one of the reasons why, and I'll jump ahead a little bit, is this is sourcing um, leads for you. So if you're doing a meeting or a presentation somewhere else, this is gathering the information of the people who are in the meeting and putting information into the chat. Email, it's going to give you a printout at the end of who was more engaged, who participated more, who answered questions or more, most who made most comments. So maybe let's say if you're doing something and you say, I'm going to give away a $25 Amazon gift certificate for whatever reason or something, right? This lets you know who was more engaged that you may want to give it to or not give it to. Okay. So, but yes, this types as you type it in. So here's another example. Um, if we do the emoji, right? So some people may not use an emoji in a professional setting, but I'm just going to put an emoji in here so that we all see how this kind of looks. So if you want to do something and say, hey, put an emoji inside, again, I don't type anything else inside of it. Okay. It automatically comes up. So maybe you want to do something fun, unique, or anything like that. Let me get that off so I can see. Okay. Um, face. Oh, I don't think. I think you typed the word in. I don't know how that came. Or does that come in? I see the word. I don't see the actual emoji. So maybe the emoji was. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I don't see the emoji. I just see the word. It says face fuchsia, tongue out. Okay. Let me see something really quick. Um, let's see if that works. I think. Okay, I'm trying something really quick because I want to see if the word comes out on my one as well. Because I'm trying to do the one. Yeah, okay. So that's what it was. It was for whatever reason a. So I don't think it's taking the YouTube one. My one, for an example, is coming. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's your one. So yeah, I don't think it's taking the other one, but there it goes. Right. So hey, someone may not use this. They may use it, but just showing it to you, you can change things up. Also, coming into the last couple of ones, this is a cool one. What did you take away from this meeting? Right. So maybe someone puts inside there, they took away uh, workflow. Right. So let's just say FOW workflow. So now this is going to come down in a different way as well. So now you get to see the words coming down, ideas. Okay. So imagine if there's 30 and 40 people or 25 people in your meeting, guess what starts to happen? Now those words get to come down and you get to see what they took away. Oh, great, Colin. I'm glad you took away some ideas from this reading. Oh, Lion, wow, you took away workflow or whatever it is. The number, and you don't have to use all of these, right? I am just simply showing different options and they have way more options, but I'm only showing just a few options here. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to show you here, techniques. Okay. So, and then it starts building down like a Tetris kind of a thing, right? So it creates just again a little bit more of an engagement opportunity. Why? Because people love talking about themselves. They love seeing what they are being engaged with up on the screen in this virtual space. Studies have shown this big time. All right. And so I'm about to get off of this one, but I'm about to show you the last thing that I use the Stream Live function for. Okay. So this goes back to also what you were referencing a second ago, Colin, about would I have to type it in? Would you have to type it in or anyone else have to type it in? No. Here's one of the things I see often in Zoom meetings. People will do a wheel of winners, right? They will do a wheel where the wheel spins and they get to choose. The wheel chooses who wins, right? Whatever prize it is. And often they take away from the energy of the meeting because they have to go and type in the names for everyone in the meeting who is going to participate. Well, that doesn't happen here. What you're about to see is everyone who types their name or anything actually in the chat once you're ready, their names get automatically put into the wheel. Now, also, please keep in mind, and I'll show you at the end of this, this is used in several different meeting functions, not just YouTube, for example, as I'm doing it now. It's used in Zoom, Google Meets, Teams, TikTok, I think. I'll check on that in a second. But here's the wheel. As soon as I go to the next page, those names have already been populated. Now, since Carl and I are the only people who have placed it into the chat, you guys don't get to get Amazon gift card. It's the rest of the people that are just watching. I understand people watch. All right, Colin, he won. Look at that. So anytime someone puts their name in the chat, or not name, but anytime they comment or they do anything into the chat, they are automatically entered into this, right? And the wheel will populate 60 names, 80 names, whatever it is, once that is done. Tell me that is not a great team building, engagement, production type of a thing. It absolutely is. Okay, so now let me show you all a little bit of how this is done. So let me show you the back end of it. All right, so let me come out of that. All right, so here are the places that you're able to do your destination to: Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, WebEx, YouTube, Twitch, Vimo. You're able to also do it in person. I didn't tell that as well. And you can do a hybrid as well. And it says other online platforms. I've never used that one, so I guess you would need a stream key maybe or something like that, or hybrid. You can do it online and virtual if you're in an in-person type of a meeting. Yeah. So it is extremely strong, extremely powerful. And one of the reasons why I state that, I'm going to give you a couple of statistics and get ready to start to wind this down, is because the human attention span is 8.25 seconds, which is less than a goldfish attention span. So we need to make sure that we capture and keep everyone else's attention span. Oh, and also really quick to also tell you about the Stream Live feature is when you're done, if anyone puts in links, their LinkedIn, their email, or any link, you get a printout at the end that they send you of everyone's email, their LinkedIn, their if they put in Instagram, social media, whatever. So now you're able to target, as I was referencing earlier, you're able to target specifically those people that were in your meeting. What do I mean by that? So actually, let me come back here so I can be kind of straight with it. What do I mean by that? Is because if I do a meeting and I see that I had 60 people in there inside my meeting, but only 15 of them really commented, really, said something. They put information inside there. Well, I'm going to target them in an email more than I'm going to target the other people. I'm going to still send them an email, say, hey, thanks for showing. Here you go. But I can say, hey, I saw that you really liked this portion, because it tells you what portion of that section that they were more engaged on. Hey, I noticed that you really were into the animated section of my presentation. I love to maybe have a one-on-one and show you how that's done, right? I can target them a lot easier and more. So I love that, because you get a specific printout about that. Now, senior execs who prefer video over text, 59%, and this is coming from the Nielsen um, report. Okay, so these are numbers that's coming from them. So the reason why I say that is because video is absolutely king at this point. Um, Email and video are still the top ones. All of the social media, I need to get out there and do that. That's great, but are you reaching the target audience? Is your target audience C-suite level and employees or company owners, or they're not on Facebook like that? They're on a different platform, if they are at all, right? Or are you doing a presentation that's just boring everyone? What if you want to show the bosses or someone in a presentation how you can do something really cool and amazing like that? Oh, how cool is that, right? Now, keep in mind, as I show people, someone says, well, I wouldn't use amazing on there. You don't have to use amazing. You can brand it to whatever your company is, right? So 59% of people, senior execs, prefer email or, video over text. Well, what about email, you ask? So the 11 hours, the number of times that workers check their email while they're at work. They say they will check it 11 times per hour. What does that mean? Is that now you get to target the emails from the streamer live. Once those emails are come, they get pulled out and extracted. You now get to go and tell someone, hey, I can target specifically someone who's interested more inside my um, cup of product, or maybe let's say a notepad or something, right? They were engaged. So now I can write them and say, hey, I can produce those in different colors, or I can make them specifically for you, and so forth like that. The number of time people visit a website page, length of average for a website page is 10 to 20 seconds, and the people are off. Websites, they're still great, but they're not what they used to be. 10 to 20 seconds average, people go to your website. And what am I relating this back to is people want engagement from actual people. They are tired of just looking at a website. They get bombarded with the internet stuff. So if you're going to do lives, if you're going to do presentations, anything, you need to make sure that it is absolutely engaging. And the internet, average watch time is about 2.7 seconds, and people are off. You hear it all the time in YouTube shorts and all that. You got to grab their attention right away because attention span is 8 seconds. But the average time they watch a video is 2.7 minutes. Unless your video is entertaining, unless your live is entertaining, people are tired of just seeing someone sit there at the screen and talk about their lives, right? So you are leveling up your Zoom presentation by making it more engaging, making people say, you know what, wow, I want to keep watching this. I want to reach out and ask some questions. So we're getting ready to wrap things up. Make sure you put some more questions inside there. Also, if you had not had the chance yet, make sure you go and subscribe. Listen to the young lady. Listen to it. If she says subscribe, then you need to hit that subscribe button so that you can keep up with some of the fun, entertaining, technical teachings, everything that we do. Make sure you do that. Let me see. I think I got another one here as well, right? Oh, yeah, there you go. This is how you do it. Bam. See that button there? You subscribe, then go over to the bell and hit that right there as well, right? Do you see how the animation brought it up just a little bit? All right, so let's take a look here. We've got another question that's coming to us. Let's see here. So Colin, once again, wants to ask, thank you so much, Colin, for this question. Is live stream more engaging than Zoom meetings? Meaning, which live stream people can't see each other, whereas in Zoom they can. Thank you for that clarification. I do get it. So I'm gonna stay here so I can answer that question. So this I do this in two ways. I do live streaming and I do my Zoom meetings. Now here is the beautiful part for anyone who may want to use Ecamm. So my Ecamm, I stream to multiple destinations at once. So I can do a Zoom meeting and stream that same meeting to YouTube and that same meeting to LinkedIn. Those are my two platforms that I use. So I guess to answer the question, I believe live streaming is more engaging overall. If you do a live stream in Zoom, then there's a different technique that I teach so that people don't take over your presentation. Um, in Zoom, I've noticed so many more people will turn their cameras off. So then you might as well be on a platform like YouTube, for example. So I give people that option. Hey, if you don't want to have your face, your camera there, you can see the same information at the same time I'm live streaming on YouTube as I am in Zoom. So um, I do believe it's a it's a thing of what people prefer. Some people prefer to have their faces on Zoom so they can interact with you and they can see your face. Some people just like to sit back and not have to worry about their camera being on, or having a question posed to them on YouTube or on LinkedIn, for example, right? Great thing about it, using a platform like Ecamm, is that you can do that to other places. And let no one tell you there is not another platform out there can do it. vMix, StreamYard, OBS, none of them have the ability to integrate with Zoom at the same time as what we're doing right now. So I hope that answers that question for you there. Okay, So let's now come back. This is we have another comments coming in here. Say this is great information. Connect with Candy. Thank you. No, thank you for very much for popping in there and saying that there. I that's all I want to do is I want to give information that can help someone out to create more engagement. Because truthfully, when it comes down to it, if your objective is to get people to watch what you're doing and then come into your course, purchase your product, if they feel that you're boring, then your course is going to be boring. If they feel that you're not giving it valuable information, then that's reason for them to not have a conversion rate, right? Hey, little man, can you no, just go that way. No, get off there you go, thank you. So they will feel that they can't do that. All right, so we have another question here. Let's see. And again, I could go deeper in this, but I wanted to just give some of the basics here so people can see this here. So, which app is getting the comments onto your screen? Thank you so much for that question. So, all right. So let me share with you what I'm doing. Currently, you're watching me on YouTube. Ecamm is bringing the comments onto screen, but I also am on Zoom. That's how I was able to show you the Zoom functions and features, right? Ecamm is also bringing those comments of Zoom onto screen. If you're in regular Zoom, you're not able to bring your comments onto screen like this right here. Okay. Um, let's see. We also have, so I hope that answers. So Ecamm is bringing all those onto screen there. And Connect Candy says, great question. I was wondering the same thing. Let's see. Amazing graphics. Amazing graphics. Right. And those graphics, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I do a lot of a little bit more fun things and so forth like that. So I use some graphics to do the fun stuff. You do not have to use graphics like this. You can use, matter of fact, thank you for suggesting that. I'll show you a way I use it in a more professional setting. So let's say I wanted to talk about my percentages. I will do something like
Dive into the numbers and explore our financial performance. Gain insights into our stability, growth, and the strategies that drive our financial success.
thank you so much for letting me know that, Colin. I was on mute. I couldn't hear me. So appreciate it. Um, so now you should be able to hear me. I have sound now. So for an example, I was stating that I can do things in a more professional manner. Whereas now, for example, if I wanted to bring
Are you
percentages up,
looking to level up your virtual
um, I could
presentations?
do something like
Let
this to
VCA
even just say,
Academy
hey,
handle it
check
for
out
you.
my company. If I wanted to bring those percentages up on screen like before. And
Hear
keep
it
in
from
mind,
those who matter
you do not,
most,
if I want to bring up
our
testimonials,
clients.
for example, here's some
Listen to their
testimonials.
success stories
And you don't
and
have to
understand how our
have that
partnership
character,
has
right?
made a
That's just,
difference in
again,
their
my personal
businesses.
style. You can bring testimonials up on screen like this, and you can set all of those up. The percentages I can
Dive
do
into the
like
numbers
this.
and explore our financial performance. Gain insights into our stability, growth, and the
Okay.
strategies that drive our financial
And
success.
then the same thing you seen her do right there, I can also bring up on screen without the background, right? So
The
Ecamm is
numbers and
allowing me to
explore
do
our financial
all of those
performance.
things.
Gain insights into our
Yes. And then we
stability,
also had
growth,
someone
and the strategies
said,
that drive our financial
so
success.
let's take that off. And someone said, wow, do you have the link that I can try? Absolutely. So again, like I said, I was not doing any of the pitching stuff like that, but I will put the link in there. Ecamm gives you a 14-day free trial. You do not even have to put in a credit card. It is Ecamm is so strong on what they understand and know people gonna love it, and that's pretty much it. So I put a link in there. But yes, Ecamm is bringing all of the comments up on screen, all of the information up on screen. Okay, so we are at 10 minutes till. So what I'm going to do is just open it free form for questions, any comments, and if you want to see something, 'cause that's pretty much done with my presentation. If you want to see something, then let me know. You know what? I will show you this also. So here is an example of a lady who was in the top 100 summit. She was referencing, and so they had 100 ladies speak, 20 speakers per day. Imagine how boring that would get. Everyone kept bringing their slides up. Here's an example of her using the method that I teach, and with Ecamm, how she is now in that circle on her slides. Okay. And so what that does when the transition happens, it keeps the eyes going. It keeps, oh, I don't know where she's at. Oh, she's on the screen and she's talking to me, right? I can still see her and the important features and functions that she's talking about, right? So that's a perfect example of how um, the difference in that can be used, right? So I will leave these last 10 minutes for any questions, any comments, any suggestions. Matter of fact, I will just show you a really cool function. Colin, do you have a website for what you do, either yourself or your company or anything? I know you told me the name. Share with me the website, and I want to show you something really cool with that as well. Um, there's so much you can do with Ecamm that I don't try to show people because they will get overwhelmed. But I tell them just keep it simple, do your presentation, and so forth. And while you're doing that, okay, so let me take a look here and see. INCTHOMPSON.com. All right, so let me 1 second. That is COLINCTHOMPSON.com. Maybe I'm typing something in wrong. I'm typing that COLINCTHOMPSON. Yeah, I must be typing in something wrong. Let me see. Is that typed? Is that typed correctly? I'm gonna put it on the screen. Tell me if it's not missing anything here. COLINC Thompson.com. COLINCTHOMPSON.com. Okay, never mind. I got it. Thank you so very much. So now I want to show you something. I just did that. Now imagine if you're able to now bring up your site like this, right? So now you're in a meeting virtually, and now you would be here. Your logo would be at the bottom, and so now imagine if you're able to, nice looking site too. Imagine if you're able to now bring this up, right? If you're in a coaching session, how much more engaged, that eye popping that your um, person that you're speaking to or presenting to would be. And then now you can also, again, change this into another feature. Maybe you have a video on this page or something that could be played. Oh, see that? See the word clouds. Okay, so here we go. So now imagine if you're in this situation and you say,
I'm Lisa
I want you to hear.
I am one of the organizers for TIB
Let me mute it for a second. So now you say, hey, you know what? I want you to hear from someone else really quick as a testimonial, right? And now this comes up.
Every year, they invite the expert from the software industry and best practices. We have more than 5,000 attendees for the conference.
Okay, so you're able to now put it in a
Hey
format.
guys, this is Janine Jakob. I'm a motivational speaker, trainer, and coach like Colin. And I was very lucky because he accepted my invitation to come speak at the International Excellence Convention. So he spoke to people from all around the world. And what I love about him is
Okay, and so you can do some features like that, or if you wanted to get fancy with it, you can put yourself in a position or spot like this right here, and then you can still do the same
he
thing.
shares amazing stories. He wowed me. He really
Look at this,
engaged
right?
me in his speech. And
So that's the premise of it. Yes, you can do all kind of stuff like that. And I see that we had another comment in here as well. We got about 5 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Candy said, "I like this feature for my show." And again, these are features that I tell people you don't have to use all of them. I just like showing some of them, but just basically the main ones are being able to pull up the comments on screen like this so people can see it, having an interactive point where people ask questions, do a live polls, tell you where they're from. Now you're able to go there and see that kind of stuff. So those are just some small types of that. Your web page having the ability to uh, make it feel more interactive, feel like you are there. Imagine if you're giving a presentation like this on Zoom or in any other platform, and now you're able to do like that right there. Okay, so let's take a look and see. We've got another question. Perfect. We have Colin. Will this session be available to rewatch? Yes. Now, I think what I did is I had it on private, but since you're here, you still get access to it, right? Because that was being offered for the dollar, and so I didn't want anyone else to come. But yes, it is recorded, and you will still have access to it. It will be on this YouTube page, and I think some, no other places. Yes, just on this YouTube page. I get a hard copy for my files, so if you can't get it to it, let me know. I will make sure you get it. But yes, this is being recorded live and recorded directly onto my Ecamm. And let's see, in Ecamm, what is your view on PPT versus overlays? So can you tell me what PPT is? I may not know what those initials are versus overlays. Um, and then I will share my thought on that question. Let's see. That's just part of me with my big get my nerd on. There's my nerd. So give it a second because I know there's a little delay there. So tell me what PPT is versus overlays. And there's different types of ways to be able to do that. So for an example, oh, there we go. PowerPoint slide. Oh, okay. So great. All right. So first let me answer the question. What are my views on it? I personally like overlays. And I will show you a prime example of that versus PowerPoint slides, keynote slides, anything, Canva slides, anything like that. So here's a perfect example. If you do a PowerPoint, a keynote, you are locked into that. As a matter of fact, let me show you how I do mine so you can see an example of why I prefer mine that way. So here is an example of how I do my PowerPoint or my keynote, right? So I am here now. I start here, and then after that, I go and put my slides on. So then now, when this happens, so here's an example of me inside of my slides. Actually, let me close that one down. Okay, so I'll use this one. So now you can see this is mine. And I put my um, camera down lower so you're able to see it. So I'll show you an example. So now it's a little bit better, right? So I this is the PowerPoint slides. I'll tell you why I can do the same slide inside of Ecamm, but I use overlays. Overlays I'm able to change. If I see something that's happening wrong, I am able to make a change quick. I do not need to go into PowerPoint. I do not need to go into um, Keynote, Canva, or anything. You can go into Canva and make some changes, PowerPoint as well, Keynote and all that, but it doesn't happen as easily. So, say for an example, I'm going to place this on screen. This is the style that I would then do my overlays in. This, what you're watching, ladies and gentlemen, is an overlay, which means that, let's say, for an example, if I didn't want to do 3 takeaways, I wanted to do 5 takeaways. Okay. Now, within that 10-second span, I was able to type in 5 and change it to 5 takeaways. Maybe I'm doing this for a client and the client says, "Ooh, I don't like that blue. Can you do that in red?" I can say, "Absolutely." And then I can go in and change it within that 10-second kind of time frame, right? So I hope that kind of gives a little better view of why I personally love overlays on whenever I do any of my presentations, because it gives me so much more command of what I want to do, and I'm able to still move them as quick and easy. For an example, these are overlays that you're watching. This is not a slide. It still kind of looks like it. Most people don't know, but I'm able to change and go through these very easily, very quickly, very simply. Okay. I will also show you guys something that I use that you probably did not notice, but how one way I changed them so quickly is I use this device here. So this is a button that I can click, and as I click it, it goes to the next slide or it goes back a slide, right? And so I get to keep that in the palm of my hand as I'm talking, and then I just use my thumb to click it, and that changes my slide, right? Again, workflow. I love the ability to not have to look down. Where's the clicker to change it? And if I'm giving a speech standing up, I still can stand up and do that as well. Okay. All right. So we are at the top of the hour. Are there any final questions? And if you do have a question even after this, please send me an email at lion.lionflood.net. I'll be more than happy to answer that. And also, another great thing with Ecamm, I'll show you here for my last thing. I'm just going to put some links in there, but I'm going to do that simply by pressing one button. So watch, one button, and I dumped my links inside of the chat, right? So again, workflow, making it simple and easy. All right. Um, Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have any final thoughts? Any final questions? Okay, here we go. The clicker. Let me put that up. Actually, I'll just leave that on the screen. Let's see. Oh, I already pressed the button. That's fine. All right. The clicker works in Ecamm to move overlays. Yes. So you can set it to, so I'm using another device called Stream Deck, but it is in Ecamm and it does connect to that. So the short answer is yes, but I'm using one other little small device. When I use just my regular presentation, Keynote, PowerPoint, then I can use the button directly for the Keynote to PowerPoint. It's Bluetooth in essence. So yes, it does, but I use one other little device so I can then switch between which overlays that I want, if that kind of makes sense. So the short answer is yes. All right. And let's see. So yes. So thank you all for attending. Please just spread the word. That's all I ask for. I'm not selling a product. I'm not pitching anything. Just let people know about it. Because the next time I do one of these, for example, just like the Stream Live, I give away the use of that for free, and also Ecamm for 14-day trial. So anyone can come and grab a free trial. And if they use my link for a free trial, I will work with them and build a setting for them, a overlay setting, a panel, or anything like that for their Zoom. And last thing, before I go, I'm going to show you an example of what I do in my Zoom, just so you can see. So here's an example of how my Zoom meetings look. So I would be here. My guest would be in that yellow circle. When I'm having more people, for an example, I will then have a panel discussion similar to this, right? Now I have 4 people. And again, this look and this feel just makes people feel more engaged, right? They see a background that's different. They see themselves in a position that's different. I also use something like this. Okay, and then the last one I have is if I have multiple people, right? So imagine those guests being there and there, and there. So I'll just put their faces there. Okay. So imagine a meeting such as this. The active speaker comes to the center, everyone else is to the side, and I think that's it. No, no, there's one more. There's one more. Where did I put the other one? And did I put it all the way up there? Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you a quick video of a Zoom meeting that we just had recently. So check this out. So here is a Zoom meeting that we had. And again, you can just see how different that looks, how more appealing that looks. And again, that's just our personality having this meeting there, such as that. Um, let's see. What's the question? I will bring this. Let's see. Which feature is this in Ecamm for the multiple speaker window? All right. So let me bring it back so I can answer that. So the multiple speaker window, do you mean for an example like this right here, where I have myself and then another speaker would be to the side, or when I was doing the Zoom meetings? Let me see if I can bring it back up so we can understand. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Like this. Okay. Yes. Okay. So it's not a feature. It is you building the the window, the presentation how you want. Okay. So let's say, for example, and I'll do this real quick to show you. So let's say, for example, you knew that you were going to have a presentation. Thank you for that. And I'm see now you're getting me. Oh man, look, I get excited about this, but I'm not going to do it too long. So okay, everyone else who wanted to come till 8, thank you guys. If you want to stick around and watch a few of this, I appreciate it. So Colin, let's say for an example, you wanted to build a presentation or a meeting where you had 3 people. Okay. And I'm going to do this from scratch really quick just to show you. All right. So this is how simple it is. I'm going to make the screen blank. So this is Ecamm right here. Everything I'm doing right now is directly in Ecamm, but it's presented in Zoom. Okay. So now here I have a one scene right here. Let's say you want it to be big. Okay. This is you right here. Okay. Now in Ecamm, I'm going to make another one of those, and I'm just going to shrink it down. This is how simple it is. It's not a lot of technological stuff to it. If you can drag and drop and copy and paste, you can do Ecamm, right? So now I have this whole setup, and now the 2 people on the side would be my guest, and then I would be in the center, or I would put my guest in the center. And kind of like Zoom, you have an active speaker. So who's ever speaking, that little green thing moves. Well, what happens here in Ecamm and Zoom is the speaker, active speaker, would come into the center. Right? You can turn that on or off. So you don't, if you don't want them jumping back and forth, for an example, right? So if you're telling someone, hey, you've got 6 minutes to present your product or your pitch, your idea, you can put them in the middle for 6 minutes, and then. So I hope that answers. So it's not a feature directly. It is just simply you making it how you want to make it in Ecamm. Okay, let's do that, and then bam, come back. Right. So here's an example of the 3-1, and then I just put a background behind it, so it had that there. So you can make this however you choose. It's brandable to your company, to whatever you want. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna do this here, since if you're still here, I'm going to do this here for. Let me see what you just wrote. Kind of how to get the other cameras into the window. How to get the other cameras into the window. let me see. I don't think I know what you're referring to there. How to get your guest camera into the window? Is that what you're referring to? I'll wait until I hear that come up. And if that is the question, then I'll show you how simple that is. All right. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to do something here really quick and show you something. Okay. Bam. Okay. Let me see what you said. Yes. Okay. So what happens is this, the guest camera. Okay, perfect. So what happens is this. When your guests come on, either directly into Zoom or into Ecamm, just remember this, that um, everything Zoom does, Ecamm does. Okay. So no matter which platform they come into, all you do is you assign their camera to one of those circles. Each circle gets a number. All right. So if you have so if you label yours 1, 2, 3, 4, if you put 5 cameras, 5 circles up there, or whatever shape, they don't have to be that shape, but 5 cameras. When your guests come on, you assign them which camera. So you will say camera 1 is Steve, camera 2 is Becky. And what's great about that is, let's say they drop off, something happens to their internet connection, whatever. As soon as they log back in, Ecamm automatically puts them back into that circle. You don't have to say, oh, let them back in the room or anything. They automatically come in. And here's a perfect example of something I have to show, right? So I just did this as we were talking, and you put that on there. So now I've got your, if you can see it, let's see. Yeah, that's it. I've got your brand that I put on here, and I kind of move it around just a little bit so you can kind of see. Actually, I will do a blank screen just to show you so it looks a little different, a little better, right? So now I'm able to now take your personal brand, right? So I just made that just a second ago as an overlay in Ecamm, right? It does not take long. It's not anything like that. And you can do all kind of really cool stuff by adding a shadow color. Let's say, for example, you get creative and add a little red, right? So now I can bring that red out, right? So that's just a small example. But yes, you assign them a camera overlay, and then that is it. And what's great about this is, so for example, if I'm doing a meeting right now, let me take that off. If I'm doing this meeting right now or presentation, I can bring anyone from the YouTube, from the Zoom, or I can send you a link and bring them directly into this meeting. And then we would still be streaming to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to Zoom, whatever we are doing it. So you can do that in the middle of your presentation as well. Other platforms, not so much. It's possible, but it's a headache, right? So, but yeah, that's to answer that question. It's simply assigning that guest to camera 1, camera 2. So that's a quick and easy way to kind of show that and reference that. And for an example, what you're seeing now is one of the things we said at the beginning is when and to use it, not to use a green screen. I don't usually use a green screen, but I was teaching a green screen class last week, and I just haven't taken it down yet because people use green screens and their virtual backgrounds completely wrong. They don't light it the way it's supposed to be lit. And I'll show you a quick example for that. So here's one of the presentations that I do, but I'm going to go straight to that section. All right, so here we go. So let's back this up a little bit. So here's an example of one of the things I teach is about the lighting, how to properly light that situation. So let me put me back here. There we go. Right. So I teach how to light those situations, for an example. Right. And let's do that. Okay. Yeah. So I don't usually teach or use green screens, but I was teaching it last week. So there's an example of that. And yeah, all right. So I can talk about this all day, but any more questions that you have for me, Colin, or anyone else? I don't think we have much more people. See, okay, here we go. Let's see. We have, and one of the reasons why I put it up on this screen here is because for me it just shows better. See, if I put it there, you don't see it like that. But if I bring up, oops, I know why I was pushing the wrong one. You can tell. There we go. So now if I put it up here, now I have it so my colors and everything look way better. I can see it better, right? Which of your courses is best to learn the technical side of this and not the delivery side? Confidence aspects. Gotcha. Right. And that's kind of what you were referencing with me prior when I was put that post up because I teach that as well. I teach people how to feel confident on camera, how to use a teleprompter. The technical side, we do have that as well. And that is one that, hey, if you feel confident, you know, to be on camera, you just want to learn how to do this. We do have that course. That's course number 2. I can get you information on that actual name of it because I have 3 courses. I have the done for you, the teaching of the technical one, and then the get comfortable on camera course as well. So that's the one that I would highly suggest, especially if someone's looking to brand Ecamm to be themselves. It is a very simple process. Unlike some of the other ones, actually Ecamm is easier. The same way as I referenced your not logo, but the wording on the site that you had. Let me get that. I referenced that on there and put your logo up there. Not logo, but that. I just dragged it and dropped it. I copied it from the website and then I dragged it and dropped it into Ecamm. So I can get you the information on that technical part there for that course. Um, and you know, if anyone else is interested in learning Ecamm or doing Ecamm, we have a Facebook group as well, in which we have over 22,000, I think it is, 22,000 people. And that is one of the top one. Hello, James. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you here, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, we were just getting into that Ecamm talk, and I was just letting them know um, everything about it. So we got some pros and some veterans up in here now. But Colin, what I was saying to you is that our Ecamm group is over 22,000 members in there. And any one of the members, man, if you have any questions, that's the biggest thing I love about Ecamm is the community. They will answer questions. We've got people from all over the country and the world who are a part of that, and they will answer questions. You can hop on and say, "Hey, I don't know how to do this." If it's an audio question, so for an example, there was a gentleman 4 hours ago. Jeremy said something about if anyone else uses this kind of system, and 6 people hopped on, commented, you know. So if you have questions, man, that's one of the biggest things I love about it is the fact of the um, community and everyone about that. Okay. So I appreciate you for stopping in, James. I'm just about to wrap it up. So, and get everything like that. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have that opportunity, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that you can keep up with some of the great things I put on here. I'm all about showing the people some of this great stuff here. Just listen to what she says, and then when you're done with what she says, let me show you how you go about doing it. Oh, listen to her too as well. And then when you're done with that, listen, this is how you do it, okay? This is how you do it. You take your cursor, you hit that subscribe button, then you go over to that bell, you click that bell, and you assist out. So thank you all. I'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I appreciate that. Lion Flood with VCA Academy. We help you look, sound, and perform more professionally on camera. And I will make sure I get that information to you, Colin. Thank you so much, sir.